All right, what's going on, guys? This is going to be the controller settings for Kismet and Black Ops 7. We're going to start, obviously, with controller. We're not on that mouse and key. And we're rocking the 1.65 on both sensitivities, on horizontal and vertical. I shoot with triggers, so I swapped these off. Controller vibration, you always want this off if you have rumbles off or rumbles in or out. And the dead zones, you want to make sure you use for what your controller uses, okay? I don't know how many times I don't have to express this, but use the dead zones that work the best for your controller. I use 175, 199, 1. And then on the aiming, you want to go right here on this aiming advanced setting. You want to put this, it's usually on standard, put that to dynamic and make sure it's all the way up. If it's not, you're going to shoot zigzags. If you want to shoot straight, you put this on. Down here, make sure target aim assist is on. This is another one. So motion sensor function advanced settings. Click this, go in here. There's going to be FOV sensitivity scaling. Turn that off. It's going to be automatically on. Make sure it's off. Next is you want to go to movement. Sprint assist is going to be on. It's going to be your best friend. And then you want mantle assist off, crouch assist, all these things off. Corner slice is up to you. I like it off. And then hybrid, if you're cracked like me, you're going to go down here to movement advanced settings. You want to make sure that you turn on single tap sprint. It's going to save your thumb a lot.
You smart.
Ground and mantle, up to you. I don't like it. Combat only, you got to have the body shield only for whenever, you know, whenever you got to do your thing. Grab the body shields. I also like to use prioritize reload. That's up to you. And then that's basically it for the controller settings. This is my Black Ops 7 settings for graphics. So you want to use these settings to have the best frames, the best gunplay, everything in this game. So you want to make sure whenever you come in here, display mode, full screen exclusive. I know a lot of people like to use borderless and everything else, but full screen exclusive is going to be the best for your game. Obviously, you want to make sure your refresh rate is the highest that it can be. And then right here on NVIDIA Reflex Low Latency, make sure you always put it on plus boost. And then when on these V-Syncs, you want this off. Don't put it on. I don't care what anybody says. You don't want it, okay? The frame rate, you could do unlimited. I like to do custom. It just, you know, makes my PC feel a little bit better. And then everything else, you don't want to really mess with. Going over to the quality, okay? I use NVIDIA DLSS. I know a lot of people use Fidelity Cast, but NVIDIA DLSS has worked well for me. It gives me a lot of frames. Make sure the game doesn't crash on me, all that kind of stuff. And then I always turn this AMD FSR 3 on. It makes your frame rate just boosted, honestly. It just feels good. VRAM, always want to put that to 90. And then this part is the easiest part of it all. Everything that you see, you want to make sure if it has an on and off button, turn it off. And any setting, you want to just put on the lowest possible one. So right here, particle, you don't want it on high. You want it on very low. So every single one of these on low. You want this on optimize, or sorry, not optimize, minimal. And you want it on the lowest, everything off, low, low, low. Perfect. You see what I'm saying? Moving over to the view. I rock 100 FOV. I know a lot of people, I think, in my opinion, if you're going to be playing competitive Call of Duty, you should be playing anywhere between 95 and 105. I would not go any lower or any higher unless you're obviously already a professional. And if you're in that case, you do what you want. I love the wide FOV for the weapon FOV. It just makes the game have a cleaner look. Coming down here, always turn motion blur off. If you have motion blur on, you're going to shoot the zigzags all over the place. And this is another key setting that you want to make sure you turn off is these camera movements. They usually default at 100. This makes your game look like you're in Battlefield. We're playing Call of Duty. Our game looks good. Put it to least 50%. Okay, and then inverted flashbang. If you, I mean, you know, if you don't want to get flashbang, that might have been. Oh my God, what did I just say, bro? Cut the inverted flashbang. Why did I even talk about that?
I got you, homie.
What's going on, guys? These are my classes for Black Ops 7. You want to use these classes to slam in your pubs, slam in your competitive matches, wherever you're playing, with your friends, against enemies, whatever. So I'm rocking the M15. This is by far the best assault rifle. Whenever you go in here, you want to go, obviously I have the perk greed for this class. I have different classes for different scenarios. But the M15, you want to rock this Lethal Tools ELO, okay? This is the best sight. Going over to the muzzle, we're going to use the Red Well compensator. It's honestly, I know a lot of people like the RL break, but I think this one just has better recoil control. The barrel, you want to use the 16.5 fusion barrel. Okay, the 20 inch isn't bad with the velocity, but you want velocity and damage range. It just, you know, helps with this gun because the damage range falls off pretty hard, so you want to make sure you have that. Going over to the rear grip, we're going to use the Peregrine grip. This is for ADS speed. The game has really slow ADS, so using this just makes your life a lot easier. And then you want to round it out with the Wander 3V stock. Okay, so this is going to have the most strafing speed whenever you're playing, so that's what you want to use. Going over to the pistol, this is a pistol you want to use for every one of your classes. This is a burst pistol. This thing is OP. It's the Velox 5.7. We're going to use the muzzle. We have the Greaves 5.7 narrow. On the barrel, we have the 5.2 LX barrel. Rear grip, we have the quick spine grip. And then on the fire mod, we have the overpressured, so that whenever you're shooting people, you have that bullet velocity and you just melt them. And like I said, with perk greed, obviously trophy system, stun grenade, Simtex, but if you're playing pubs, you could swap that up for stim shot, you know, whatever you're doing. For the perks, I'm rocking for S&D, you have Ninja, Tac Mask, dexterity, and flak jacket. But like I said, there's different classes. So we have one with flak jacket and one with lightweight. One, you know, lightweight just making you faster. So if you got to get to spots quicker, that's what you got to do. Moving over to the Drevek, I'm rocking the Hawker stabilizer on the muzzle. For the barrel, I have the 14-inch verse barrel. The magazine, I have the front gate fast loader. On the rear grip, I have the Herald Z1 grip. And on the stock, I have the Heritage stock, okay? That's the best build you can have for the Drevek. And then for this one, I also use the perk creed. You do not want to use primary gunfighter on the sub. There's no point. And then if you're a sub, I know a lot of people do like flak jacket for subs, but I think if you're a good sub, you can probably maneuver yourself around without getting naded. And that lightweight is very crucial. And then last but not least is a M15 Motto again, but with primary gunfighter. So this one is basically the same thing as before, but we're going to add attachments, obviously, right? So we still have the Elo sight, the same muzzle, the same barrel, but we're going to throw in the iron hold angled grip on the underbarrel. You want to put that extended mag on because you want more bullets. You want to, you know, when you're beaming. And then last but not least, you want to have the fire mod, the buffer springs, so that you're just beaming whenever you have this class on. So this is for whenever, you know, you're a main AR, you're holding head glitches, that kind of thing. Whenever you're using your perks for primary gunfighter, you just use ninja, tac mass, and dexterity. I know a lot of people talk about fast hands, but fast hands, I don't think you really need. Tac mass is just very, you know, it's very versatile. So, but yeah, those are my classes for Black Ops 7 chat and YouTube and TikTok and wherever this might go. Make sure you guys use these classes. Let me know what you think about them. And yeah, bang. Okay, that's not bad. Cut. I'm not gonna lie. I stayed locked and I looked over to the chat and all I see is 14-inch, by the way. Bro, let me rock, bro. You guys are trying to make me giggle I'm midway. I can't stop.